Hey everyone, it is the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your 4th of July weekend. I am recording this at like 8:30 in the morning. I did not sleep well last night. I don't know, I think this is getting to be a really bad year for my community. So, well, my personal life anyway. So I told you about how the woman who owns and operates our local grain elevator had a stroke, and then the priest at our parish died, and now there was a fire at a water treatment facility that we buy our water from, and now we don't have water, and so we are finding it from alternative sources, namely drainage tile. And apparently, and I'm finding out just how much I don't like hard groundwater. I did not sleep well last night at all. As you can tell from the title of this video, does anything unite this country in 2021? Back on November 19th, 1863, Abraham Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address. And we all know how that begins. You know, 7 years ago, our fathers founded this great nation. Now we're wondering if this nation or any nation so thus conceived can survive. I'm very heavily paraphrasing. It is now, our country is now 5 years old. That's, for those of you, that's 245 years old. And obviously, we are not involved in a civil war. And we don't believe that there are people who are less human than others because of their melanin, or at least there's not very many. Of course, now with people like Abram Kendi and Ta-Nehisi Coates, it's actually the other way around. The people, it seems like they believe that those with less melanin are less human than those with more melanin, so it's kind of just the same thing all over, only they are the favored race. But I would honestly argue that there is more that unites the Confederacy and the Union back in 1863 than unites the Democrats and the Republicans now. Obviously, there's unity within the Republican Party. We agree that babies are people and women can't be men. But there's nothing that I think I don't know if there's anything that unites the two sides. And this is commonly known. We always talk about how we're such a polarized nation. And the reason we are such a polarized nation is because of politicians, because of political pundits, and the media. We've all played our hand in causing the division that we have today. And I want to answer the question, is there anything that unites the right and left? So, clearly, back in the 1860s and back to the founding era, we had a lot that united us. We had the belief that we were a Christian nation, and that we were founded on the basis of Christian law and the Judeo-Christian moral system and the Christian religious philosophy. Obviously, now if you say you're a Christian, you actually believe what you say, you're a hateful bigot who believes that kids shouldn't have their life screwed up by having two moms or two dads. And you also believe that babies are people, all that good stuff. And that makes you a very terrible person. So Christian morality no longer unites us. And Christian moral law no longer unites us. We now have people saying that we should just back prior to the Derek Chauvin trial, we had people who were saying, we don't need a trial, we'll just put him in jail. The idea of a trial by the jury of your peers is a very Christian idea. Gosh, my arm is getting tired. Hold on, guys, let me switch. Okay. So, Christianity no longer. Does music unite us? Christianity and morality no longer unite us. Does music unite us? In a way, kind of. In some sense, yes. And in some sense, no. There's a song that I came upon recently called The Wellerman, and it's a 150-year-old whaling song, or whaling ballad from New Zealand, and I really like the song, and apparently it's popular on social media. But then you also have songs like WAP, which is basically glorifying prostitution, and we're saying, oh my gosh, it's such a wonderful work of art. Like, I listened to the song, and even for rap songs, it ain't that good. It ain't that good. So, does music unite us? Yes and no. It depends on what you're pointing out. Does sports unite us? No. Not really at all. Used to. Used to be that I could sit down at a football game or at a bar, and the person next to me could love Bernie Sanders. The USSR was the greatest country in the world. And provided that him and I didn't talk about politics, and him and I liked the same team, the Minnesota Vikings, that him and I could have a perfectly civilized conversation, watching the football game, rooting for the same team, and, we when a bad play would happen, we'd each feel the loss, and when a good play happened, we'd each feel the joy of, yes, we got a 20-yard gain, and now we're in the end zone, or in the red zone, whatever. But now, thanks to Colin Kaepernick and the NFL as a whole, I watched the beginning of the game, and does this person sitting next to me, what does he think of the flag? This whole kneeling for the flag thing. And then do I not ask him in case he agrees with it? Do I take a chance and say, so, what do you think about this whole kneeling for the flag thing? And then what happens if and they're taking a chance on, okay, what does he think of it? Does he agree with it? Does he disagree with it? Does he agree with me, or does he disagree with me? So, it gives us kind of this awkward moment where I have to decide whether or not I'm going to try to remain silent and try to make it seem less awkward, or am I going to ask him about it? So, sports, not at all. Is there anything else? Let's see, there's music, there's movies, and there's TV. And in a way, yeah, there are movies that unite us today. Ford versus Ferrari, I saw that movie in theaters. It was a very good movie, and also it was a conservative movie because it is about men doing manly things, and that's actually one of the things that makes it such a great movie. But movies like Midway, which is another great movie, a lot for the same for a lot of the same reasons that Ford versus Ferrari is as well, because it is about men being men. But then all the movies that get nominated for Oscars and such are like, oh, here we are going to nominate a movie about a bulimic, non-binary, transgender, queer, Asian guy who thinks he's a woman who wants to be a stripper. It's like, why am I supposed to want to watch that movie? Why? Please, explain it to me. I would much rather watch men be men and do amazing things with cars, or watch men be men and defend our country back in the 1940s. So, are there things that unite us? Yeah, but it depends on how you look at them. Depends on what factors of those things you look at them. But it's certainly not Christianity. It's certainly not morality. And that's really why we're such a divided country. But really, we can't. I think there's I'm kind of rambling here, but I don't know if I said this or not, but I do believe that there was more things that united the North and the South, because they at least agreed that men are men and women are women and babies are people. And you being interested in wanting to have sex with a dude when you are one yourself is not properly ordered. I decided that I wanted to try to sing on my channel. So, here I go. If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I'd thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause this flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Happy Independence Day, everyone. Hope you all enjoying it. Celebrating it right. Celebrating it with family, food, fireworks, the 4 Fs. And most of all, celebrating our liberties. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye, and have a great rest of your